Well, the verdict is in. Judge Saris here in the MLSPIN Nosalek case has officially stayed the case. What does that mean? It means she has punted. She wants no part of this. If she ruled on this, it would set a precedent for pretty much the rest of the country. And at this point, she is not into that. And quite frankly, I don't blame her, because this would be the only MLS here in Massachusetts to be set up in such a way that we would still be able to offer and advertise a buyer agent compensation in MLS, as opposed to all of the other MLSs that will be removing that field as of August 17th. Brian here with Lamacchia Realty. I have an article pulled up that talks about this in a little bit more detail, so without further ado, let's get into it. Nosalek suit stayed pending court ruling on NAR settlement. Judge Patti Saris is delaying her ruling on MLSPIN settlement agreement until the NAR settlement is resolved. Judge Patti B. Saris, who is overseeing the Nosalek Commission lawsuit, made the decision to stay the case pending Judge Stephen Bow's ruling on the nationwide commission lawsuit settlement agreement reached by the National Association of Realtors in March. So basically, she's given it to the judge out in Kansas City, which is a problem. According to Saris' order, the plaintiffs have 30 days after Bow's ruling to fill their supplemental preliminary approval of settlement. Additionally, the Department of Justice will have 90 days to review the settlement agreement as stipulated in the Class Action Fairness Act. By staying the suit, Saris is delaying her ruling on defendant MLS Property Information Network's settlement agreement. Saris granted preliminary approval to the MLSPIN first proposed settlement agreement in September 2023, but soon after the DOJ intervened due to significant concerns about MLSPIN's settlement. Since then, the court, the DOJ, the plaintiffs, and the MLSPIN have gone back and forth trying to create a settlement that the DOJ will accept. And I know I've been talking about the DOJ a lot on this channel, but the reality is they are not a governing body. They do not write the laws. Congress does. So if DOJ wants to get involved, fine. But if you want to make actual changes, that has to go through the proper channels. It's not just like a recommendation from the DOJ and we're going to go do it. That makes no sense, especially when this says, we've allowed sellers to offer buyer agent compensation for over 100 years. In addition to MLSPIN, the 4 other defendants in the suit, Anywhere, Remax, Keller Williams, and Home Services of America, have each reach nationwide settlement agreements of the seller side commission lawsuits. The settlement for Remax, Anywhere, Keller Williams have already been granted final approval by Bow, but the Home Services of America settlement, which was filed much later, has not yet been granted the final approval. In making her decision to stay the Nosalek suit, Saris is taking the opposite tack of Judge William Stickman, who was overseeing the Moritus Commission lawsuit. Stickman denied West Penn MLS's motion to stay the suit. West Penn MLS sought to stay as it opted in to NAR's settlement. MLSPIN did not wish to comment on this development. Remax, Anywhere, Williams did not return a request for comment. Chris Kelly, Executive Vice President of Home Services America, wrote in an email to Housing Wire that the industry is currently working hard to adapt to the business practice changes outlined in NAR's settlement. That's right. So in the behind the scenes and what's going on across the board is just absolute chaos. And what I'm seeing, and this is, of course, an unintended consequence of this ruling, is that the value of a buyer lead is way less. It has dropped by like 80% in value compared to where it was even just a couple months ago, because people are realizing now that having to have that conversation with the buyer up front, you're going to need a not necessarily a buyer agency agreement, but you're going to have some type of written agreement before you can even show a property to someone. So it's becoming very clear that buyers are desperately looking for someone to assist them in the purchase of a home, but unfortunately, a lot of agents are just saying, like, that's just too much work. I'm just not going to do it. So it is going to be very challenging for buyers to find proper representation moving forward. What is essential now is a clear and timely resolution of the ongoing legal issues, a collaborative approach from all stakeholders involved, Kelly said. This clarity will enable the industry to guide consumers effectively through the evolving landscape of buying and selling homes, a process that our brokerages and agents are embracing with proactive and positive determination. It is our hope that we can avoid a start and stop approach or the need to shift abruptly to a completely different set of practices based on future rulings, as such disruptions could significantly impact the consumers we aim to serve. Exactly, and you're already seeing it where, again, people are just stepping away, and they're like, if you're a buyer and you're looking for an agent to show your property, there's just far fewer agents that are willing to do that right now because, again, the writing's on the wall, right? You're going to have a written agreement, and you're going to have that conversation about compensation up front, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Myself, I've been having these conversations since the beginning, but there's a lot of agents out there that haven't had those conversations. So for a lot of them, it's very uncomfortable. But for someone like myself and others like me that have been having those conversations for many years, it's no big deal. So when I first got into the real estate business, it was very challenging to go out and try and find good quality buyer leads because they had all been scooped up by a lot of the big brokerages. But now they are everywhere, and I'm getting phone calls from companies that I tried getting leads from years ago, and they're all desperate to sell me the leads because nobody wants them. So if nobody wants them, that tells me that buyers are the ones that are truly getting the short end of the stick here, and they're not going to have proper representation. If they do want proper representation, they're going to have to pay for it or negotiate that into the deal. Maybe we see how it settles out in terms of being able to write these offers with the buyer agent compensation in there, but there's no guarantee. So that is the difference. Like the money previously that was earmarked for a buyer agent commission, that is no more. So it's going to be interesting. A lot of things in flux right now. Stay tuned to this channel. We cover a lot, and we make sure that you are well informed, whether you're a buyer, seller, or another real estate agent. I would encourage you to obviously subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more content like this. That's all I have for today. Thanks for watching. Take care.